Nexus actually is going to be very good for Hemlock, because that means Protoss basically mining off one base off his natural. He needs to focus down, make a decision right now. Stop taking out those. Oh my gosh, he's actually going for the units. It's actually a bad idea. There are too many Protoss units, and the Protoss Nexus is going to survive. Burrowing, perfect timing. Oh, this is actually a great move. We forgot about that. He researched it earlier, and Protoss does not know what to do. He needs to chrono boost a observer out, getting a ton of stalkers in, staying around the base, but with the burrow, quickly sniping that Nexus, and he could just burrow again. Oh, again, burrowing.
Needs to hurry up, and now the fourth base is being reestablished at the bottom 6 o'clock position. A lot of probes transferring over, but it's not ready yet. Meanwhile, +3 attacks almost finished for the Zerg player, and Broodlords are in production. 4 Broodlords just popping out to mix with
good
the
timing. Hemlock could swoop in and go for a counterattack up in the front that would split up the Protoss army, and that would maybe give him the game, because he actually had that double expand is actually working out for him. He's actually mining very well right now in resources, still 1,800 resources, and if you look at the income tabs, both players actually very similar, about 1,300 income, but Protoss just not maximizing. He actually does get an observer in and finally kills up all those burrowed roaches.
Yeah, +3 attack for both players now, so they're going to be doing a ton of damage. Though there was only +1 armor for the Protoss right now, whereas the Zerg player has +2 armor and soon to be +3 attack, as well as the carry pace being researched as well.
Yeah, both players maxed out 200. They need to engage. That means Hemlock can't afford to build more roaches for a drop. If he had dropped that extra, that fourth base, which is basically a ton of probes, no defense, that economic damage is what's going to win this game, I think.
Let's see how it goes. Engagement coming up now.
On the Protoss, on the Zerg creep with 2 observers, just in case. Oh, Roach is getting actually a decent surround, and Unfortunately not going down fast enough. Corruptor is targeting down those Colossi, and actually a ton of Corruptors around. Broodlords in the back. I think this battle's going to favor Hemlock. A great surround actually by the Roaches. Colossi doing a ton of damage still, and they're actually pretty split up from the Stalkers. Oh no! Reinforcements from Will on the Stalkers, and blinking just finished. It actually might turn around to favor Will.
Yeah,
all the Colossi are down right now.
I think he's going to get a good blink underneath these Broodlords here in a minute too. He can blink underneath those and just finish them off once and for all.
Corruptors need to go home and transform into Broodlords. All the Broodlords are now down, and all we have are 17 Stalkers left and 3 observers. The Corruptors need to go away and transform. They're being blinked to death, but we do have Roaches coming in from the back. A ton of Roaches. Some just being misrallied. Again, this misrallying from Hemlock. There's Roaches idling, doing nothing. If he had gotten them to the front lines, they would be doing much more damage. Corruptors, again, doing nothing. He has so much money, so much gas. He needs to turn those into Broodlords right now. There's no Colossi coming.
Oh no Broodlords, just roaches right now, and they might be enough to take out this number of Stalkers here, but now 1 Broodlord being worked in, but not enough minerals. No minerals for the Zerg player.
Oh no, the reinforcement. I mean, he had so many minerals queued up, but because both players same income, and I think the Zerg, the units, Roaches, just trying to reinforce and not being so effective, just cost him. Although these Roaches actually might do the job, and actually some Broodlords actually one being warped in, and Hemlock will hold this off. But Protoss doing a smart job and double expanding yet again. He knows it's going to be an economic macro game, and Hemlock needs to take action right now. Either take the middle, he needs to build Broodlords, which is what he's doing. He needs to take that middle and take out these expansions as soon as possible. He does have Overlords over them. He does spot them. But he just can't attack them right now. Look at the army tab. It's 141 to 118 with Hemlock in the front, and with those Broodlords, even though he's going to make him basically double ahead because the Broodlords do so much damage.
Yeah, I still can't tell who this game is going in favor of. There's 3 observers of Will still hanging right above the army. They can see everything. The +3 is all around for the Zerg player. He's got +3 armor and attack. Protoss player has +3 attack and just +2 armor. And now loading up these 2 overlords, as he said, Norm, very wise. He spouted these expansions. He's going to go down here and try to snipe out all these probes, or at least the Nexus down there at one of these bases, which have no cannons and just juicy probes asking to be blown up.
Yeah, the Roach Corruptor composition is very good. Although you're right, these 3 observers see everything. Hemlock right now needs to be smart. There are Colossi on the field. He needs to have a good mix of Colossi and Corruptors and Broodlords. And these Roaches actually spotted. They won't be able to snipe Nexus. They are not long to this world. Probes running away safe, and Will is able to defend this very handily.
Here comes a counter now to the middle from the Zerg player.
Zerg needs to slow down his units because those Broodlords are way too slow. He needs to keep his army together, or else he does actually catch the reinforcements and actually take on their way. Roaches need to run away from those Colossi. Needs to regroup with the Broodlords and use those Corruptors to focus down the Colossi. Very good job taking out those pylons in the middle. And Protoss kind of in a tough position. He's actually away from his main. He can reinforce over. I guess there's a path for him to reinforce, but the Zerg right now 173 to 152 needs to get a good surround. Oh, those Colossi right in front of Corruptors, he's chucking them down. And Void Ray's also going down, and Blink, actually, I don't know if that was a good Blink, blinking right in the middle of the Zerg army, right where the Broodlords are. But yeah, that was a terrible, terrible Blink over on Will's side. His army pretty much entirely down. Broodlords do stay alive, and Corruptors are all there. Corruptors can transform, and Roaches will take out any of the reinforcing Stalkers.
Yeah, that was not the best choice to blink there. You need to blink under the Broodlords, not into the Roaches, and as it was, the Roaches just were able to clean things up while the Broodlords provided their fire, and of course the large number of Corruptors, just excellent, taking out the Void Rays, taking out the Colossus, and now the army tab starting to show things getting out of hand. The Zerg player back up to 193, the Protoss player just at 99 supply, and now the Nexus over here being destroyed, going to systematically just take out all the mining bases of this Protoss player who's mined out at his main and his natural, and almost mined out at his third, although he's only got a few guys mining there now.
Yep, he is looking very, very good for Hemlock. Dealing that double expand early really paid off. He's not even saturated, actually, at his expansions, but he's going to take out the Protoss base. Those drones, those probes, they're hiding in the corner because they know they are not going to survive this. And once these drones are down, I mean, if you look at the resources, only under 100 for Will. That's because he's spending efficiently. It's because he has no minerals.
Yeah, now just pretty much 1.5 base is mining for the Protoss player, and that base is right in the way of the Zerg army, so the Zerg army is going to go right through there. Actually, that's
Zerg is
around,
already maxed out yet again. I mean, he could load up some Overlords and drop right now. There are no photon cannons. I think that's exactly what he's going to do. He has 2 Overlords standing right there. He has actually 5 Overlords he could load up. Let's drop right in the Protoss. Protoss actually has the last resistance, a ton of Zealots. Lots actually have no legs. Zealots does have the blink, but the Broodlord's going to be able to kill this so easily.
Yeah, it looks like his Zerg player is going to go kind of loop all the way around here. He's got to take the long way around to get those Roaches there. No Overlords to provide drops, as they're kind of elsewhere right now. And now just taking another base, Hemlock, pretty safe. He's got a couple of bases mining, but a few that are just kind of got a few drones here and there. And now here goes the engagement here, and these Zealots just aren't going to stand a chance against these Roaches with their upgrades. Yeah,
the Roaches and the Broodlords in the back. I mean, Zealots just don't do well against Broodlord Stalkers. And that's it. GG from Will. Hemlock, congratulations. Will make it to the finals.
I have to wonder, is this a best of 3, though? I have to check with Harris.
Oh, you know what? It might be.
Our semis often are best of 3, and if this is what that was, then we may just be beginning with that one. That was an intense 33-minute game, so a very good game from both those players. But Hemlock, it really looked like he was in a tough spot at various points in that game, and just was able to kind of get a good macro position going.
Yeah, Will, he had, I don't know, I'm not sure exactly what he did wrong. I mean, obviously that blinking into the middle of the Roaches while not getting close enough to the Broodlords, definitely a mistake. He had the lead for a while, and it was actually at Zerg's front door, but you never really want, if you're both maxed out, you never really want to engage a head-to-head, especially if you don't have good proxy pylons for reinforcements. What you want to do is go do the economic, do harassment and get the economic advantage, expand. If you're ahead, if you're 200, yes, Zerg is more mobile, so you do take the risk of Zerg attacking, but you threaten him by standing outside his front door, so his army has to be there, and then you just expand, and maybe go for drops, and just tech up.
Yeah, teching up would have been a good thing to try there, and let me see if we can do the same map, or reline that. Let me see.
Yeah, I don't think it should probably be not be the same map.
Well, Harris says it's okay, so we'll do it.
Okay.
All right. All right. Well, Hemlock is fine with it. Will's fine with it. We're back again, guys. This is going to be game number 2 of our semis here at the Giantbomb Community Tournament for March 2011. Will, the red Protoss, against Hemlock, the pink Zerg. Hemlock just took game number 1 of this best of 3, and we're back on Tal'Darim Malta. We will allow it. Loser chooses the map, so Will chose this map once again. I don't know if Hemlock loses this game, if he chooses Tal'Darim, I guess we'll let him do that too, but I assume we'll probably see a different map if it goes to game 3. And I think this is a good matchup. I think Will can take on Hemlock in a game, so I think we'll see if he's learned anything from that last game.
Yep, absolutely. And right now we see they're actually not in cross position anymore. They're both on the left side of the map. And we have Will on the top left 10 o'clock position and Hemlock on the bottom 7 o'clock position. We'll see if they both go for that fast expand. Last time, Will went for the fast expand for his Nexus, put a pylon down by his secondary ramp, the wider ramp, went for Gateway Forge, and Hemlock went for the fast hatchery, went for a late spotting pool. And actually, I can't believe it's the same game, but he actually put down he was the one who put down the hatchery in Will's base.
Yeah, that was. That game saw a lot of ups and downs, and that was originally why we were putting the game in Will's favor, because of kind of the shenanigans Hemlock was doing and just kind of playing this kind of strange play. And Will was, throughout the game, doing a better job managing his minerals, it seemed. But then I think the worker count kind of swung in the too many probes. And then
that's right, which hurts you when you're at 200. I mean, with that 17 probe difference when he didn't have the expansion, and he couldn't use that money, but that money should have went for upgrades. He didn't. I don't think he had a double forge down.
No, I don't think he did, and that was why his upgrades were a little bit slower as well. The Zerg was able to be on 3-3, and he was on 3-2. So we'll see if those adjustments are made. It looks like so far Will playing the same opening, pylon and gateway down. We'll see that forge come down shortly after that. Zerg player throwing down the hatchery, and I'm surprised. I think Will would have been wise to just block that hatchery. I think he should have suspected that was coming, and he had a good opportunity in this game to block that hatchery for a little bit longer and force the spawning pool and extractor first, but unable to do that. So the hatchery.
Yeah, so very similar openings from both players. We do have Hemlock in Will's base with his drones seeing exactly the same opening. I wonder if that's going to change his strategy going forward, because he knows he probably doesn't want to go for a long game. Will probably won't make the same mistakes again. And might be a little bit more of an aggressive play from Hemlock this time. That's what I'd definitely like to see. Just because Will, for the longest time in the first game, he had photon cannons, but he did not have a lot of units. That's why Zerg was so high up in the unit counting station for so long.
Yeah, I agree. Those cannons were there, and the small army, and the Zerg was able to really just macro up. And we were talking about how many drones the Zerg had at one point in the game on 2 bases, but then it kind of switched off, and he took the kind of a second stage to that huge number of probes, 80 probes at one point in that game for Will. And actually, is he walling off? Is that 100% wall off there with that cannon? Looks like it could be.
Actually, yes, I think it is. Yeah. Oh no, actually no. For the far left, I think there might be a little bit of a path for a unit or two.
Let's see if
and that's exactly
Wow,
one.
look at that. That's
very tight. Yeah,
you can tell
it's in the shadows.
Built before. That's very tough. That's a tight little spot there. I don't know if the Zerg player would notice that. Nice job, and there's a cannon there up as well. So Nexus goes down for Will. Hatchery already up for Hemlock.
Mm-hmm. Hemlock's going to be a little bit higher up in the economy just to start. And does he even have a spawning pool up yet? He does. Okay, spawning pool is done. Making 2 queens right now. Going to go for the economic game. Being in these positions actually changes the game quite a little bit. They are, I think...
I'm sorry, Norm? May have lost Norm there for a second, guys. We'll take a peek at our Skype. Sounds like we have lost him.
Oh, there goes Skype again.
Okay.
Yep. Apologize for that.
No problem.
And we actually see a Baneling's Nest coming up for Hemlock's side. This is definitely different from what he did last time, as opposed to the Roach Hydra army. He's going to go for Banelings. I think this is a perfect move against Will. Baneling busts this wide ramp. He can just go for the gateway. Don't go for the forge, or don't go for cyber. Get around to the natural and take out all those probes.
Yeah, this is going to be a nightmare scenario, and I think Hemlock is doing this because it is risky. If it's held off, he's in a lot of trouble. but he is one game up here, so he can kind of give this game if he needs to. But I think really right now, unless this is scouted, that the Banelings are going to be just devastating. They'll bust right through that gateway, and if he brings in